Hello, this video is mainly about unemployment in the long run. In this diagram we see how real GDP tends to change over time. Real GDP tends to grow according to a growth trend over the long run, but in the short run, real GDP is moving up and down according to the business cycle. But these ups and downs of the business cycle and real GDP affect other variables in the economy too. In particular, the inflation rate and the unemployment rate. When we have a booming economy, we're growing rapidly, then firms need to hire more workers and therefore wages will tend to go up. And of course, unemployment goes down. But rising wages means that the cost of production goes up and therefore prices go up as well. So we tend to have, in a booming economy, low unemployment and rising prices, that is inflation. In a recession, we have the opposite. In a recession, firms are cutting back on their production. They need fewer workers, and therefore they pay lower wages. Fewer workers means that unemployment goes up. Lower wages means that prices fall. But what about an economy that's just humming along normally? What will the rate of unemployment be for such an economy? Well, the economists have a concept to explain this. It's called Nabiru. Nabiru stands for Non-Accelerating Inflation Rate of Unemployment. This is the rate of unemployment for which inflation does not go up or go down. First of all, the natural rate of unemployment is pretty constant, but the actual rate of unemployment will be moving up and down around that average according to the business cycle. But how is this average or natural rate of unemployment, or Nabiru, actually determined? Well, here we have a simple model of unemployment. We have, of course, some workers who are employed, and we have some workers who are unemployed. Every month, some workers will lose their jobs according to the job separation rate, S, while some unemployed workers will be finding new jobs according to the job finding rate, F. In equilibrium, the actual number of people employed and unemployed will stay about the same, which requires that the number of people losing jobs is equal to the number of people finding jobs. That is, S times E equals F times U. The number of people employed in the economy is equal to the labor force minus the number of people who are unemployed. So we can substitute in for E, L minus U. If we just work through this equation, we get down to the expression U divided by L, which is the unemployment rate in the long run, is equal to S divided by S plus F. That is, the job separation rate divided by the job separation rate plus the job finding rate. Let's do a numerical example. In reality, economists have determined that the Nabiru, the natural rate of unemployment, is about 5%. This will be consistent with a job separation rate of about 2%. That is, 2 out of 100 people who are currently employed will lose their job every month. It's also consistent with a job finding rate of 38%. That is, about 4 out of 10 people who are currently unemployed will actually find a new job every month. If we plug these values in, we can see that 0.02 divided by 0.02 plus 0.38, 0.02 divided by 0.4 is equal to 5%. That's our Nabiru. This is what the long-run average unemployment rate will tend to be. Of course, at any given time, the actual unemployment rate could be greater or less than 5%. If the unemployment rate is greater than 5%, that means that the economy is not doing well. Firms are cutting back on production and therefore laying off workers and reducing their wages. Both implies that unemployment rate will be going up and inflation rate is going to go down. Or we're going to have falling prices maybe. On the other hand, if the unemployment rate is less than 5%, then we have a booming economy. Firms are struggling to find workers, and in order to attract them, they're going to have to raise the wages. In doing so, the cost of production goes up and prices tend to increase, while at the same time, the unemployment rate will go down, according to it being less than 5%. Clearly, it would be really great if the government could do something to make the Nabiru, or the natural rate of unemployment, a little bit lower. That way we can have less unemployment and still have stable prices. Is there something the government can do to actually lower the natural rate of unemployment? Yes, there is, if the government is willing to pursue a few different kinds of policies. What they need to do is either raise the job finding rate or reduce the job separation rate. Usually policies target the job finding rate. They're trying to increase that. All right, here are 4 examples of policies that the government can enact in order to raise the job finding rate. The first one is employment agencies. The government can establish employment agencies that act to match the unemployed people with employers who look for help. Another one that they can do is to do job training programs. Job training programs will train the unemployed to better match the skills that is needed in the economy and by the employers. A third factor is relocation programs. Relocation programs will move or help unemployed people move to the location where the jobs are. And finally, and this one is slightly different, is insurance or unemployment insurance. Unemployment insurance is, of course, the program that helps unemployed people stay afloat while they're looking for jobs. If the government were to reduce the unemployment insurance, then the unemployed people will have a greater incentive to find jobs quickly. And that will presumably raise the job finding rate. Okay, so these 4 programs will help reduce the natural rate of unemployment in the long run, but they also work in the short run. So employment agencies or job training programs or relocation support all help even in the short run